We're going to talk in this series of videos about a specific type of sequence called an arithmetic sequence. Now, an arithmetic sequence is a type of sequence where the difference between my successive terms is always going to be the same. So here I have a graph representing an arithmetic sequence, and you can see that each of these points on here, which would be a set of discrete points, all of these discrete points lie on a straight line, and it appears that they are all a specific value, the same value away from each other. In other words, it looks like a line, right, with a difference of the slope. Here you can see another set of discrete values. This has got a negative slope, it appears like, going on here, and we have a constant change, or the difference between these values is going to be -5. So that's kind of what you're looking at when you're thinking about an arithmetic sequence. Formally, we can define an arithmetic sequence as a recursive sequence. That was where the first term, A1, is a value, and then every term after that is a different value, and the difference between those values, the next set of values, is going to be D. It's what we call our common difference. So this is our common difference that's occurring between each of the values in my set or sequence. Now, the first example that we're looking at here says I want to find the first three terms and the common difference if I have a sequence that's defined as this: S sub n equals 3n plus 5. And when we try to find those first three terms, or however many terms we're being asked to find, it's helpful to set up a table. So I have a table here with one column representing n, and the next column I'm going to fill in is my sequence that you can see defined here. So my sequence is defined again as 3n plus 5. So we're going to find out, well, what's the first term? The first term would be 3 times 1 plus 5, or in other words, 8. The second term in my sequence would be 3 times 2 plus 5, which would be equal to 11. And the third term in this sequence would be 3 times 3 plus 5, which would be equal to 14. So those are the first three terms in my arithmetic sequence, and we can prove that it is in fact an arithmetic sequence by finding out what is the common difference between each of these values. So the difference between 11 and 8 would be 3, and the difference between 11 and 14 is also 3. So we can see here that the common difference, which is the same between all three of these numbers, is 3. And that's how we can find the first three terms and the common difference of our arithmetic sequence.